Hi, everybody. Welcome to Shop Talk. We're obviously sheltering in place in Ohio and California, so a little bit different venue than we've had before. But I'm here with Amanda Flint. She's the plant project manager for PlantHaven, and she is going to tell us about some of the new varieties from PlantHaven that we weren't able to see at California Spring Trials. So, Amanda, what's the first one that you would like to go with?
Perfect. Let's talk about Dahlia Electro Pink. This is one of our brand new dahlias. So you guys may be familiar with the Mystic series of dahlias from PlantHaven. This is similar but different. This is a new cactus style dahlia. So you've got nice big 4-inch blooms on them, hot pink, kind of that chrysanthemum cactus style bloom to it, but still with those beautiful dark foliage that come with the Mystic series. So this is brand new to the market. You don't need to stake it or anything. It's a nice big garden sized dahlia. So great impulse retail style because you've got the hot pink and the dark black. Really does beautiful with consumers. They love it when they see it. Great for mass planting. Highly recommend. One pinch, and then it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for a quart or 10 to 12 weeks for a gallon, and just a really easy plant. Highly recommend for a new annual in your collections.
Okay. Yeah, no, the cactus style flower is a little, you don't see that one as often.
No, you don't. So it's kind of nice to have a new one come in.
Yeah.
Less just that like round, beautiful kind of dahlia to a little more exotic.
Yeah, sounds great. Dahlias are one of my favorites for sure.
So the next plant that I'd love to talk about is a brand new Dianthus, which is adding into the American Pie series. So if you're familiar, those are those nice, like 12-inch tall, beautiful long stems, single petals, around 1.5 inches to 2-inch bloom size. And cherry pie, just like its namesake, is a brilliant, beautiful cherry red. Absolutely outstanding. Like the signature Wetman silver blue foliage. So you get that red to blue pop. It is stunning. Fragrant, just like all of the other Wetman Dianthus. Highly recommend this for your spring to summer orders. And of course, Eris greenleaf plants is the URC and liner source for this plant.
Okay, and is that true for all of them in the series there?
Yes. All liners, and if you're a licensee, URCs come from Eris. If you are looking for, feel free to get those from Greenleaf Plants or any of their other licensees. We've got 20+ licensees on all Dianthus.
Okay, great.
So the next plant that we are looking at is Hedera Tropical Blizzard, which is a brand new Algerian ivy. So it's kind of one of those plants that we're thinking will be somewhere in between a house plant and an outside plant, because Algerian ivies can be both a beautiful ground cover, but they also do fairly well indoors. And since there's a really nice drawl and trend to have indoor house plants, we're very excited about this brand new one. It is stunning in like white and cream speckled hues with like apple green to darker green coloration throughout it. The stems are like a hot red to pink as new growth comes along. So you get that kind of that contrast of white, cream, green, and red all in the same plant. Really easy grower, does great indoors as well. So highly recommend taking a look at those plants.
It sounds like it could be a good shade plant with the lighter colors. Does it do pretty well in the shade? And
it does great in part shade. You can do it up to full sun, at least in California climates. We've found that you can have it in full sun and you don't get a lot of burning on the white growth. But part shade to full shade, it's still doing wonderfully.
Okay, and is it a fast grower? Like, I'm thinking like, I guess English ivy that can be a little invasive, or is this one a little bit more tame than that?
A little bit more tame than that. I'd say it's a nice medium grower. It's not going to be too slow that you're like, I can't deal with this plant. But at the same time, it still has a good amount of growth. And the new foliage, when you see it come on, it's almost pure white. And so the green actually kind of comes through as it ages. So don't be surprised when you have like a fully white leaf that like slowly speckles through with the modeling.
That's kind of fun. You get a little different look with.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
So the next plant that we have is a beautiful new Cuphea. If you're familiar with like Vermillionaire and some of those like beautiful cigarette plants, this is the same style. So you've got a really beautiful like two-tone cherry red to a little bit of golden yellow on the ends. Makes a beautiful, nice, large garden-sized plant. You're looking at about 24 inches by 24 inches. So you really do get some nice rounded growth on it. It is nonstop blooming for us. From the liner to like over winter in California, it just keeps going. So for any warmer climates that are looking for winter blooming, as well as some of the later fall bloom, I think this is a great plant to use for that opportunity. And for the rest of the United States and Canada, this is obviously an annual. And so a phenomenal plant for high heat, high humidity, fairly drought tolerant once established. So a great annual all around.
Yeah, and it's a great pollinator too. I was noticing as I looked over the list of plants we were going to talk about, you guys have a lot of new great pollinator plants this year, which is always a good thing.
Exactly. We've heard a lot of that coming from not just greenhouses, but consumers. So a lot of the plants that we're looking for are a little bit more specialized. And do we want a pollinator plant? Absolutely. So Hummingbird's Lunch is the name of this Cuphea, and it's exactly what its namesake is. The hummingbirds flock to it, the bees, the butterflies. You're just going to see it completely doused in like happy pollinating animals, insects.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. So along the lines of new Dianthus, we have an additional new Dianthus that I'd love to talk about, which is the Star Single Neon Star Improved. So you may know this tried true industry icon Neon Star. It has been around for a while, and we finally found a beautiful new improvement to keep the legacy going on. So you still get that beautiful iridescent neon coloration, and now it has kind of a fancy new central ring around it, and that adds some additional beauty to it. The size of the plant is more conducive to the rest of the collection, so they all have around the same habit, which is great. It's got increased flower count. If you trim it back, it'll definitely rebloom, but if you don't, it'll still send up a few reblooms throughout the season. So you get one beautiful big flush. If you whack it back once, you'll get as many flushes as you can handle. It is an outstanding new variety. Same coloration, same beautiful silver blue foliage, and a nice tidy little habit with more bloom. So we're very excited about this new introduction to kind of carry on the neon legacy.
Yeah, it's nice to me to see some new kind of different colors coming out in the Dianthus, and getting a little bit away from those pale pinks that they're great, but it's just fun to have some more choices in the coloration on the blooms.
Absolutely. We wanted it to be as American as possible, as loud and screaming as possible. When I saw this in the trial field, it's one of those 40-mile-an-hour plants. You see it and you're like, that is that neon pink. It is you can't mistake it. It's beautiful. So we highly recommend it. Of course, it's a pollinator magnet as well, like a lot of the Dianthus. You're going to see tons of bees and butterflies. So very helpful. It's zone 5 hardy, just like all of our Dianthus from Wetman are. So both the cherry pie and the neon star are zone 5 hardy.
Great. I love it. Zone 5 is mine.
Awesome. And we are testing zone 4, but we won't release any information until we know otherwise. So the next plant that we have to talk about is another annual. This is Fuchsia Skyrocket. It is a beautiful, stunning, upright, vertical fuchsia. So you can reach heights of up to about 4 feet tall. We recommend, like a nice 2-foot container just for ease of the growers at home who are they want to mass run all of these plants. A 2-foot is going to be able to, get you there quicker. So for a 2-foot pillar, you're looking at 10 to 15 weeks with a 3-cell input. 72s, 84s, something along those lines. You're going to still look 10 to 15 weeks, depending on the season, depending on your location, depending on heat. Those are all main factors to be able to get this guy up and going. If you saw it at the Metrolina trials, it looked amazing down there. So high heat, high humidity tolerance. Same with the Costa trials, high heat, high humidity. So this is a really, really great plant for just about everywhere in North America. Great to go on the shelves of any garden center. It's going to be an easy, quick impulse sell. It is top to bottom covered in blooms. It flowers everywhere, not just like at the terminal ends. It flowers up and down the entire stem of the plant. And it's like that traditional red, pink, and white. So it's a really beautiful traditional fuchsia while still having these added benefits. Of course, like the other plants, you are going to have pollinators galore. They're absolutely adoring and loving this plant, whether it's hummingbirds or bees or any of those fun insects.
Sounds like a great patio plant, or
Absolutely.
For your front porch or something to really like show off. And
yeah, if you don't want to do your traditional begoniums or anything like that, maybe switch it out with the fuchsia this year and go back and forth. So it's a really great upright plant, just using a trellis. So the next plant that we have to talk about is a shrub. So unlike the annuals and perennials that we've talked about earlier, this is a new shrub to come out to the market. Some may have seen it in like some of the trials behind the scenes. This is our new Weigela Tower of Flower. We have two colors, apple blossom and cherry. We're talking about apple blossom today, but didn't want to exclude cherry. So these are beautiful, narrow, upright columnar habits. The apple blossom has a beautiful like shell pink, and it comes out white and then it actually develops into a more pink hue. So it's kind of a different color phasing. You usually think you start out really vibrant and then kind of go to a dull white. This is the opposite. You actually start out white and kind of age to a really nice shell mauvey pink. It's still apple blossom colored. That's yeah, there we go. I don't want to make it sound aged and old. It's not. They look beautiful on it. The flower, the leaves are just a really nice apple green across the whole plant, and they stay really beautiful all season long. You get one really big push of blooms, and then you'll have sporadic blooming throughout the summer season. So you'll see a lot of blooms coming out in around April to May, just depending on where you're located and when spring starts to let its grip go. And so you'll have about a month or two of full bloom, and it flowers along the entire plant. So just like the namesake, Tower of Flowers, you get flowers along every node, not just terminal growth. So it is full, more flowers than leaves when it's in full bloom. It's fairly quick as well. So for people who are wanting to use it as a quick growing shrub, you're looking at a minimum of, I'd say, 20 weeks to get to a 2-gallon size. So you can get as soon as 20 weeks, but on average we say 6 months to get to a 2-gallon size from a URC unrooted cutting. So if in a shrub world, I think that's rather quick.
Yeah, sounds like yeah, it sounds like a good color, or a good shrub for spring color.
Absolutely.
Sometimes get tired of the old Forsythia standard or whatever. So.
Yeah, early spring color, you get beautiful reds or pinks in there. Liners are available from Silver Falls or Greenhouse, a Heritage Greenhouse products. So both of them are offering liners. There is also going to be URC's unrooted cuttings available out of Kinsler, North America, so Innova Plant Costa Rica, as well as Vivero International.
Okay. And this year, with not being able to get out to trials and see the plants, I wanted to ask you where you guys are sending your plants, if you're sending them to any of the trials across the country, just so we can let growers know where they might be able to see them.
Absolutely. So we send material to the Costa Farms trial, to the Metrolina trial. We are sending material to Rakers. We send material to Dallas Arboretum, and we are also sending material to the Colorado State University trials this year as well.
Oh, great. Okay.
So kind of just trying to hit a little bit of everywhere on the map as much as we can.
Yeah, it's always nice to see how they perform in each region. And
yeah.
And that, yeah, I think the trials are going to be more important than ever this year for all of us to get a look at the plants.
I would think so, and I would hope so. We do have a 306 program for our Dianthus for the early birds. So all the collection of the early birds, Frosty, Sherbert, all the chili, all the fun ones that are included in there. There is a royalty discount if you're doing like a standard annual 306 pack, but with the perennials. So essentially it's a 2 to 1. So for that 6 packs, instead of 6 royalties, you only pay for 3 royalties. So if anyone is interested in doing like an early season, because the early birds are rather early for spring. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking to do like a smaller, quick to finish pack for your consumers, it's a really great opportunity for anyone who's looking to get licensed to do that, or is purchasing from a licensee to be able to do that. We do have a little restriction, so feel free to email us if you are interested. We can get you in touch of how to properly get that on your shelves.
Okay. Well, we know, there's, we've talked about 5 to 7 plants here, but we know that PlantHaven always has lots more to see. So we'll be putting up a slideshow of some of those, and you can check that out on greenhousegrower.com. And Amanda, thank you for being here and talking about the plants today. I know that's something that we always look forward to hearing about at trials, and so we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. We do really appreciate all the effort that you've gone through to be able to kind of facilitate this now that CAST is not on the books. But we do really appreciate that and welcome anyone's questions that they might have. All right. About the new selections.
Yeah, well, sounds good. And hopefully we're going to see everybody at Cultivate. We've all got our fingers crossed that we can all get together. And so, and thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.